Guys, if you're after any Pokemon singles, make sure to check out JGC Collectibles. They have loads in stock, including some sealed product there. Also, if you are interested, make sure to use discount code Slowpoke5 for 5% off.
That. So, moving forward then, we say, well, obviously the finals was what, Firebox versus Mewtwo Welder. How much credit are you giving to Mewtwo Welder? Is it still, in your opinion, like a T1, T2 kind of deck, or was it sort of a flash in the pan surprise deck and you can see it potentially dying off now?
I think the reason it did so well because of the players piloting the deck, like Medi Haffy, most of Limitless, so like Tord, Nico, Medi, Fabian. I think those were the main players that played the deck. They performed incredible with it. I think the deck will see a lot more popularity now that now that they've done so well with the deck.
Yeah.
But I feel as if some players will play it incorrectly, so it will have lower conversion rates in the future.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I sort of imagine always comes set inclusion time, especially such a big set like Sword and Shield that just changes so drastically. It's always sometimes the comfort picks from the last format that end up doing well first. Because you had a Firebox as well in the final, didn't we? How do you feel the sort of Firebox ABZs are? How do you feel about that? Similar to the Mewtwo Welder, or?
Like, do you mean my matchup against it, or?
No, as in general as a deck in its meta, how well do you feel it's played? Do you feel as if it's had another one of those sort of wonder tournament runs and that's it, or is it still sort of tier 1?
I think it's quite a strong deck, but it's the same. Like, it has weaknesses to Stamp. Like, it's similar to how well like Abilities Art has always been. You can just lose outright to Stamp or like not drawing the outs you need. Like, if you don't draw optimally with the deck, you just lose. I think it's obviously similar with a lot of decks, but the deck doesn't really have much potential off of Stamp. You always have to draw Weld off of Stamp. You have to draw XX and X. Like you saw in the finals, once Nico used Stinger and just sniped and used Stamp, Zach had no response really. He would have to draw perfectly from Stamp to be able to win the game.
Logan. I feel, let's have a look. It was third most in day 2, and then didn't really have a good conversion into top 8. Mewtwo Mally. Now, my initial testing, I was a bit underwhelmed by Mewtwo Mally. On paper, first, we all thought it was going to be really good. I felt as if it does actually have quite a high brick potential. Looking at these results, and obviously you being there playing against it as well, how do you feel Mewtwo Mally is placed at the moment?
So I only played against one the entire event, but I felt it would lose to a lot of certain things. Like the deck can easily brick, I believe.
Yes.
You're more likely to brick from your own Marnie than your opponent brick.
Yes,
from Marnie.
100%. That's why I don't play it.
you also like Marnie's something you use mid game with Trevnor.
Yes.
And a lot of people also use GXs at wrong times with the deck, which I don't. Like it's got a very high skill cap, I believe. Like the deck can be very, very good if piloted correctly, but it's also not great against other things. And like, you just outright lose to Mimikyu sometimes.
Yeah, because especially, that's one thing I found as well with Mewtwo Mally, is that because you're having to put the Denes down to like bail yourself out of your own Marnies, you end up filling your board, and similar to what you said about the guy, I think he was playing Welder though, if a well-timed Mimikyu, you're just like, oh wait, I have no board space now, I can't bench anything.
Yeah, like,
and you're just like, whoops.
What will happen is, for Malmo, I think a lot more people will play Mimikyu.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is true.
They'll have to play high accounts of Stealthy Hood in Mew3. I didn't see Nico's list, but a list I've been currently working on is playing 2, which I believe is like, not, it's okay, but like with no search it can be quite annoying sometimes. So playing against Mimikyu can just screw you completely.
So here's a question for you that I've only just thought about right now. Not to put you on the spot too much, but you got Welder Mewtwo, okay? You got Mily Mewtwo. Which one's the better deck and why?
I think Welder. Welder Mew3 has more possibilities because you obviously have weakness guard for the mirror and for Malamar.
Yeah.
You can either snipe. Obviously both decks have the snipe potential, but I think Mew3 Welder is much more consistent as well. That's one of its big kind of uses. Like, a lot of Mew3 Mally decks didn't really want to play Jirachi, or some lists didn't play Jirachi.
I think most don't now, do they? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I just prefer Mew3 Welder as a deck, and I don't think Mewtwo Mally will perform as much going into new metas.
Yeah.
I think there'll be someone that plays it, someone that does well with the deck, because if you don't brick with the deck, I think it's quite strong.
Yes.
But if you do, well, you just lose.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously everyone says because you've got that wonder turn, isn't it, where you can do the turn 1 Horror House, turn 2 kill, and all that jazz. But it's like that doesn't happen often, guys. I promise you. I've played this deck a lot.
Because like, also when I played against Mewtwo Mally with Pika,
yes.
if I went first, which I would still choose to do anyway, I could just go quick ball Pika Rom attach and have Jirachi in the active and just pass.
Mm-hmm.
So I could just go pass for another turn, and they're not really doing too much because they'll only have one energy on the Mew3, so they'll either have to bench another Mew3 and set it up for the attack.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll most likely just kill the Jirachi, and if they miss Swell on that turn, you can just go attach Thunder Mountain, which you're happy doing, and you can just blitz into them, bench Mimikyu, and then they're lost.
Yeah,
because they've already used their GX, so they can't Miraculous Duo either. So you're put in a much stronger position.
Yeah. This is very true. So I'm not really a fan of Mewtwo Mally, to be honest with you. But then again, it did have the third most in day 2, so I can't really moan too much there. Right.
Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. Much appreciated. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't hesitate to subscribe. I try and put out as much stuff here as I can. Full deck profiles plus games, topic conversational pieces regarding anything in the TCG. Check out my Twitter, check out my Facebook. That's where you get most of the updates, sort of see what's going on behind the scenes, all that good stuff. Also check out the SoundCloud for the full bi-weekly podcast. If you're interested, if you like the conversational pieces, go check that out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good day.